Okay, we're moving on to a new topic. This is called equations as relations. And I'd just like to mention that relations means like the relationship between an x and a y coordinate. Okay, so these equations are going to have two variables in them. X is usually called the domain, and then y is called the range. But if there are different letters, like here, A is the domain and B is the range, they go in alphabetical order, just like X and Y are in alphabetical order, A and B go in alphabetical order, so it would be A, B, okay? The equation y equals 3x minus 4 and it is an example of an equation in two variables because it contains two variables, x and y. The solution of an equation in two variables is an ordered pair of replacements for the variables that results in a true statement when substituted into the equation. So let's look at example 1. Find the solution set for y equals negative 2x minus 1, given the replacement set negative 2, 3, 0, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 3, 1. Okay, so basically what they're saying is if you substitute, these are, the first ones are x's and the second ones are y's. So they're saying if you substitute those in, is it going to be equal? Okay, so first of all, I would like to mention that this equation is in y-intercept form, okay, slope-intercept form. 3 is the slope and negative 4 is the y-intercept, and we'll get into that more later. But here we have, you make a table to substitute the x and y values of each ordered pair into the equation. So here you put x in one column, y in another column, and then you write the equation, and then you say whether it's true or false. Okay? So here's the first ordered pair, negative 2, 3. So as you know, x is always the first coordinate, and y is the second coordinate. So x is negative 2, and 3 is y. Then we write the equation here, and we substitute in. Y is 3 minus 2 times negative 2, which is x, because here is the negative 2, which that's the x that you see right here, minus 1. Then you solve. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's a true statement. So negative 2, 3 is a solution. Okay? Now we do 0, negative 1. We substitute negative 1 in for y equals negative 2 times x, which is 0, minus 1. Negative 2 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is negative 1. So negative 1 equals negative 1. So that also is true. Okay? Now we have 1, negative 2. Okay? Here we have 1 in for y and negative 2 in for, 1 in for x and negative 2 in for y. So negative 2 equals negative 2 times 1 minus 1. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, minus 1 is negative 3. So that's false. It doesn't work. So this point is not a solution to this equation. So it's not, this point is not on this line. So it's not a solution. Okay? And here we have 3, 1. 3 is x, y is 1. So y is 1 equals negative 2 times x, which is 3, minus 1. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and add a negative 1, and you get negative 7, and that is false. So what that means is if you have the equation negative 2x, y equals negative 2x minus 1, then you're going to have a line that looks like this, okay? And we'll go over this later. And so that means that the point negative 2, 3 is going to be on it, okay? And 0, negative 1 is going to be on it. But 1, negative 2 is not going to be on it. And 3, 1 is not going to be on it because those are not solutions. So the ones that are solutions is going to be on the line, and the ones that are not solutions will not be on the line. Okay? So now it says the ordered pairs negative 2, 3, and 0, negative 1 result in true statements. The solution set is negative 2, 3, and 0, negative 1 from the replacement set. Now, there are tons more there's infinity amount of lines on that, but these are just the ones given from the replacement set, okay? Now let's look at this example 2. Solve b equals 2a minus 1 if the domain is negative 2, negative 1, 0, 2, and 4. So now instead of having points that you're seeing whether they fit or not, instead you don't have points that see if they fit or not. Now instead what you're doing is they're saying, hey, we're going to give you one variable, and in this case it's the a, and you're going to find the b, okay? So here's the equation, b equals 2a minus 1. So we put what b equals right here. This is what b equals right there. And then we put the a that they gave us right here. And then we're going to find the b that goes with it. And then we have an ordered set, an ordered pair, or a point, okay? So we put the a's are negative 2, because it's the domain, which means the x's, same thing. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 2, 4, okay? So those are the x's, or we're going to call them a's this time, because this would be the same thing as y equals 2x minus 1. They've just used different variables, which you can do. So this a is all of these, which is the domain. Then we're going to find the b's. They have them here because it's the example and they've already found them, but usually these two columns right here would be blank. So then you would put negative 2 in for a, because that's a, and you say 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, minus 1 is negative 5. So now we have the ordered pair negative 2, negative 5. Now we have negative 1 for a. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 1 is negative 3. Now we have the ordered pair. 0 in for a. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is negative 1, 0, negative 1. Okay? 2 in for a. 2 times negative 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. So 2, 3. Now 4 goes in for a. 8 minus 1 is 7, so 4, 7. So you find the b, and then you write the ordered pair. So the solution set is negative 2, negative 5, negative 1, negative 3, 0, negative 1, 2, 3, and 4, 7. Now we could add other numbers. We could have put 1 there. 1 goes into there. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 is 1. Okay, so this ordered pair would also have been 2, 1. So you can do many others. Okay, you could have used 3, Could use whatever. All right, now let's do this one here. Okay. Now, you don't have to do the table. Okay. When you see an ordered pair and you see the equation, this is the x and this is the y. Okay. Now you can do a table. Okay. And, okay, we go x, y, and then we do the equation. Y equals 3x plus 1. Okay, and we're going to say true or false. Okay. So now we have x is 0, y is 1. So we say 1 equals 3 times 0 plus 1. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. So 1 equals 1. True. Now the next one is 1/3, 2. And we say 2 equals 3 times 1/3 plus 1. 3 times 1/3 is 1, plus 1 is 2. So 2 equals 2. That's true. So this one was true. This one was true. Now we have -1, -2/3. Okay. So -2/3 equals 3 times -1 plus 1. Well, we know this is going to be a whole number. -3 plus 1 is 2. -2/3 does not equal 2. That's false. The next one, -1, -2. So we do -2 equals 3 times -1 plus 1. 3 times -1 is -3, plus 1 is -2. So -2 equals -2. That's true. So this one was not a solution set, and this was. Okay? So that's the way to do it with the table. Now, let's do the next one. Now, the first thing you have to do with this next one is you have to solve for y. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is solve for y. 3x minus 2y equals 6. Subtract 3x from both sides. -2y equals 6 minus 3x. Now I'm going to divide each side by -2, and we get y equals 6 minus 3x divided by -2. Now we could stop there, but you know me, I like pretzels. Oops. Here we go. I'll give you a little second to look this over. What we did is we first subtracted 3x from both sides. Then we had -2y equals 6 minus 3x. Okay. Then I had -2y equals 6 minus 3x, and I divided both sides by -2. And that left me with y equals 6 minus 3x divided by -2. And when I'm doing something like this, you should be looking at your own paper and doing it for yourself. You should not be watching a movie. You should be working along with me on paper. Okay? So now what I'd like to show you is that pretzel thing that I was showing you, that I was telling you about. Okay? So we have y equals, and what's 6 over -2? -3, and -3 over -2 is positive 3/2 x. Okay? Now, you can have the other one first, but you do have to solve for y. So now we have y equals -3 plus 3/2 x. Okay, so I'm going to show you something else you can do. Okay. Okay, so I want to show you how to use this to do this on the calculator. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to, so y, what is y? Well, we have x and y. So y is 3, and we're going to store -2 in for x. So we say negative, that's right there, you might not be able to see it, 2, store into x, and we use that x. And we hit enter, and that shows you that -2 is stored in for x. Now we're going to put in the right side of the equation. We're going to say -3 plus alpha y equals, brings up the fraction menu, 3 over 2 x, and it will put the -2 in there for you. We get -6. And is y -6? No. So that is false. That is not a solution set. Now we're going to, what are we going to store into x this time? 0. So we go 0, store into x, enter. Now watch this. This is important. If you go second, enter, that brings up the last thing. Go second, enter again. That brings up the old equation. And now you can just hit enter, and it'll plug 0 in for x because you already have 0 in for x. So you don't have to type it in again. And it says -3. And that is not a solution. Okay. Now we've still got 0 in for x, but this one said -3, so we know this one is a solution set. Now what are we going to store into x? 2. 2, store into x, enter, and we get 2 because it shows you what you stored in. Okay, now we're going to go second, enter, second, enter. That brings up the equation. You hit enter, and you get 0, which is what we have here as the y. So that one is true as well. Now you should have this calculator installed on your Chromebook. It should be in your Chromebook installed. If not, you can email me and I'll show you how, but there was an assignment to do that. Let's do the next one. We have to solve for y again. Okay. So let's solve for y. Okay. We have to subtract 5 from both sides, and we get 2x minus 5 equals -y. That's a -1y, so we divide everything by -1, and we get y equals -2x plus 5. Okay, so y equals -2x plus 5. Okay, so now we have x's and y's. And we're going to store, okay, we're going to store the x's in for x. So we're going to go 1, store into x, enter. And then we're going to do this equation part to see if we get 3. Okay, -2x plus 5, enter. And we got 3. So that's a solution set. Okay. Then we go and we say 2, store in for x. Then we just go second, enter to bring that back up, second, enter again to bring the equation back up, enter, and we get 1. Oh, that's the solution set 2. Now we go 3, store into x, enter. Then we go second, enter, brings that up, second, enter, bring another one up, brings the equation up again. We hit enter, it's -1. That is not a solution set. It should have said 2 if it was a solution set. Now we go 4, store into x, enter. Second, enter to bring up the last equation, enter, -3. No, that says 3, so it's not a solution set. Okay, so the first 2 are the solution set. Hope you enjoyed that.